Hey, triple support in rivals is a huge problem right now. And personally, I have a few ideas on how to fix it. So, here's because the problem with triple support isn't that, oh, there's just too much healing. It's that there's too much healing, they also do too much damage, and they're invulnerable, and they have so many ults all the time. So they steal ults, they do too much damage, and they have so much healing. All of this just confounds into one problem where nothing dies and you don't even lose out on damage. Because if you play triple support, you should have less damage than a 2-2-2 comp, right? And a triple DPS comp should have more damage but less health overall, so less ability to take damage, because you're either losing a tank or you're losing a support. And then triple tank should have more health, so more ability to take damage, but less overall util, less ability to finish off kills. It should balance each other out in some way, so that way there's benefits to some and there's downfalls to others, but it dominates the game in every single meta. So what are you going to do? Every single meta, triple support has always been the best thing to do, and it's crazy, man. So I have a few ideas on how to fix it. Let's start with the favorite child, Luna. If we want to fix it, we start with Luna and keep Luna exactly the same way that she is right now, except lower her damage, about half her damage, and give her a slight boost to healing. And then the second change, lower damage, slight increase in her healing, and then change one of the snowball effects, because they reverted their snowball to faster cast time and faster shoot. It travels faster. Travel time has been increased as well. Has been decreased. And so that makes it super fast. Whichever one you like, lower that one. So it takes longer to shoot up, or it takes longer to travel to them, and you have to aim it better. Whichever one, I don't really care, but it needs to shoot faster, because Luna cannot heal as much as she does, have an immortality ult that is as good as it is, and also, do both of those things, and do the incredible amount of damage, have the incredible amount of sustain, and be able to fend off divers. She should have some team util with the freeze, and should be able to fend her own against divers, but overall, if she's going to heal that much, she should be weak to diver. So, weak to dives. So Luna should be our resident healer who heals, right? Because she heals a lot, she has the immortality ult. Overall, she is what you consider a healer. If I was to think of a heal bot character, I would think of Luna. You look at your team, you point, you click, you have an ability that increases the amount of healing they get, and you can heal multiple people at once. You have another ability where you give the snowflake to somebody, and you heal them better. Honestly, that's what Luna should be. That's where a kit looks like it's designed to be. That's what you do with it. Our other meta supports, Invis. Now, there's multiple directions you can go with Invis. Personally, I prefer leaning into her util. She doesn't heal as much, she doesn't do as much damage, so she's middle of the road, but her util is what makes her good, which is why she was good as a third support when she first released. She was banned or played in tournament games almost all the time, even though it was triple support, but her ult wasn't immortality, it didn't have nearly as big of an effect with its slowdown, and it was really good for comboing, because it was util. When people walked in, they were cut off from their team, so you either had to get the whole team in there, or you had to not have the whole team in there. I think you keep the slowdown, lower its healing by it's 180 per second, make it 160 or 150 per second, that way it's still really strong healing, but you can burst through it easier, because the bonus should come from not being able to see your team while they're inside of it, taking control of fight, the slowdown, not being able to see the enemy team unless you're inside of it, and then you have the huge slowdown and the slowdown while you're inside. I think you lower her damage and her healing by just a little bit, and make her play around utility. Sure, she's not as good as healing as Luna is, but her util adds so much more to your team. So if your team is better, and can play more cover, and cannot take as much damage, Invis will be able to do much, much better and help your team in better ways, because the amount of CCs, slowdowns, she's crazy in that department, but she's also crazy in every other department. So you have to take stuff away from her to go in that direction. You could also just put her as a DPS hybrid and increase the damage, lower the health, or as a main support, increase the health that she gives, lower the damage she gives, like balance her util so it's less oppressive. I prefer make her util, make her more focused on the util, right? Make her more focused on helping her team with her utility and stopping dive. I think that's better for the character. It keeps her util exactly how it is, but you lower the healing by like 5 per orb, 5 per shot, and increase the damage by like 10. Lower the damage by like 10, and then lower the healing of the ultimate, so that way it's not immortality, and definitely not as much as it is now. I mean, also a really cool quirk you could give to the ultimate is people inside of the ultimate can't see their teammates on the outside. So it's like an actual barrier. If you're inside, you can't see people outside. If you're outside, you can't see people inside. If you did that, I could even want lowering it to 140 health per second, because it's truly a cutoff. You do that and Mag is inside of it, then you can dive. You can dive their backline and Mag can't stop it with a bubble. Nobody can heal them unless they're outside of it, but if they go outside of it, they have the 45% reduction to their movement speed. I think that's a great change, honestly. Loki, I think you need to return Loki to... Hear me out. Return Loki to when he was meta. Then give his clones 80% reduction of the amount of healing and damage that he does. No fall off. Increase the healing domain, regeneration domain, his shift, his runes. Increase that by 5-10 seconds. And then increase clone count by 1. Like, not how many clones you can have, but how long it takes to get a clone up, because that means he has to play safer, but he can play offensively. Because the whole point was that he's tricky. He can go for kills. He's versatile. He can do everything, though he's not always the best. Like how Thor isn't necessarily a dive tank, he's not necessarily brawl, but he's definitely not poke. Like, he kind of just does it all. Maybe not as good as some of the other characters in the game, but I feel like you make Loki do that. The trickster god plays tricks. He goes invisible. He goes behind the enemy team. He does what he does best, which is damaging and healing, putting a lot of pressure on it, but without being oppressive. And I think that is a good way to change it. If you increase the runes to... if they're by even 15 seconds, so that way he can't just spam them off cooldown. He has to save them. Not that you can spam them off cooldown now, but you have to save them for a big moment. If you use them too early, your team, you can't use them to counter something else. Like Soul Bond, how Soul Bond is if you pop that too early, you're done for, I think it needs to have that kind of energy, and right now it doesn't feel like that. Cloak and Dagger, honestly, I'd leave Cloak and Dagger exactly how they are. They're not the best at anything, but they are the best. They're the most consistent, in my opinion. Maybe increase the healing, like the AoE, because when she shoots the light dagger, it does 16. I think it's 18 now, and a buff. It got buffed to 18, I'm pretty sure. Whatever. It does a small amount of healing, but then heals everyone in the radius too. I'd increase that radius, so that way she's better at healing. And in contrast, take away the swapping characters to reload, how that's faster. Make swapping characters slower, so that way... Make multiple swaps in a row slower. Don't make swapping slower, because that would make her worse to play. But honestly, so if you want to swap twice to reload, that's slower than just reloading, but just swapping once is not slower. I don't know how you do that, but I think Cloak and Dagger's fine. Doesn't really have problems. She has a really strong ult, but the ult's really easily counterable, and if you don't counter it, by trying to counter it, you at least force her into a nook, a hidey hole, and if you don't do that, then it's because she has Mag Bubble or something else that protects her, and if she has something else that protects her, well, that's not the problem. That's like team play. That's good for the game to have team play like that. So yeah, I think Cloak and Dagger is mainly fine. I think Jeff is fine too, on that note. Jeff is like an elo terrorist, but he's fine. I mean, his healing isn't super strong, so you can't burst your team up. You have to use your bubbles, but if you use your bubbles on your team, you're susceptible to dive. You have to balance your cooldowns like that. The only thing I'd change is his damage. Either buff the healing, so buff the amount of healing he does and lower the amount of damage, or increase damage fall off and increase his damage. So he does more damage close range, but he does less damage to the backline. Because right now he's getting 20 damage per second, I'm pretty sure, on the enemy backline for free, or like supports and tanks. And like, I give it more fall off because then you benefit from Jeff playing with his team and not just standing back and shooting down main, and he like has to play corners and pivot who he's looking at, because if you want to heal 3 people at once, or you want to heal and do damage, you kind of have to walk this way, and maybe now you're out of your team, so you have to get less value in order to get your healing in without dying, and that adds more, like, what are you going to do? Maybe it's better to play closer to your Strange because you can help your Strange burst down their tanks, or you can do damage to their tanks because you're playing right behind your Strange, and then it forces them to back off. I think that's fine. Jeff is mainly fine. He's just a terrorist because of the amount of damage he can do to the backline without any effort. Like, you don't have to do any effort to him. But other than that, I think he's mainly fine. Right? It's just that beam that it's just annoying. Like, if I'm playing Strange and there's a Jeff who's not doing anything, but he's tanking my shield damage every time I flick it up, oh my god, dude. I can't hold my shield to protect against every other thing and everything else in the game because there's always a stream of water coming at me. And if I don't have my shield up, the stream of water is hitting my entire team for 20 health per second, and then the Venom dives and it gets a free kill off of it. And it's a little wonky. I would rather you have more fall off on the damage, so he does like maybe 10 damage per second to the entire team if he's playing from far away, but maybe it's still 20 or 30 if he's playing right up next to his tanks, because that puts him in a more susceptible position. He is more vulnerable when he's next to his tanks, because you can actually hit him now, or you can play or if he plays super far away, because they're playing poke and he doesn't want to die to all the excess damage that's coming near his tanks, then he has to back up. But then you can play dive against him, and sure, maybe you don't kill him because he has great survivability, but he's definitely not getting the damage when he's shooting across the entire team, and you're taking him out of the game because you're forcing him to run away because there's no one around him to help him. And I think those are good balances, though I don't know how you would really implement that, make that change. I think Mantis is fine as well. Maybe lower, like, she does not heal. She heals the least in the entire game right now, especially since Ultron got that boost, because you have to like spam all your leaves on someone to save them. You don't have the burst healing. It's just enough to like top someone off, but the damage boost is really, really good, and her ability to DPS and the sleep is really good. I think she's fine. She's just not meta. There's you gotta like be super coordinated for her to work, and I think on command damage boost should have your team be coordinated for it to work. So honestly, I don't think I would change her that much. Rocket, the only change I would make is give him startup, increase the damage of his gun, but so like the gun has to, like, there's like half a second after you click before the gun actually fires, so that way when you're looking this way, the bullets are still firing from, like, you know, it's, give it startup. It takes a while make it harder to aim because they increased the bullet speed, and now it's super fast. Even at mid-range I can shred tanks on Rocket, and that's not really, the fact is it's super high damaging, so it's for self-defense, but now you can just use it offensively if you have the opportunity, and that doesn't feel good. I would also change that damage boost. It went from 25% to 40%. Give it 30%, see where that's at. But like, that ult is really good because you can place it pretty much anywhere you want, and the entire enemy team has to look at it to get rid of it, so you're already taking attention away from your team. If they don't look at it, they're shooting the blue shields. That does not provide ultimate charge, so you're limiting the amount of ultimate charge they're going to get during a support ult, whereas if you're playing Luna or Invis, they would still get a bunch of support ultimate charge off of you. And then, on top of that, they, hold up, I'm thinking. And then on top of that, you have a 40% damage boost, and you can just burst through anything at that point. And it combos with other ults so well, you either take away the shields, and you make it a strategic utility ultimate, and then Rocket becomes a third support again. Or, you play him with... you just lower the damage tell. And I don't like making people third support exclusive, because if we make people, like, when the game first launched, not when it first launched, Season 1 and 1.5, there was Loki, Cloak and Dagger, Luna, Invis. And those were the only ones that were good enough to play in 2 support. Like, you had 4 people you could play in 2 support. Rocket, maybe, sometimes. But the rest of them, they just weren't up to snuff. Like, they didn't heal enough, and so you couldn't do it. And you're limiting the amount of things that they can play. So I don't like making them third support exclusive, so I think it should still give health. But you've got to lower the damage boost if you do that. Adam Warlock, I think, is fine. Get rid of his recharge on his right click, so that way it actually rewards skill with the headshots, because I think that's good, because Adam Warlock is designed as a heavy sustain DPS, with Soul Bond to help with his sustain and team sustain, and with a ultimate that gives you full health and resurrections to help with sustain. Like, he's heavy sustain DPS, but he struggles because he has fall off damage. Where it takes Hela to 2-tap at any range, Adam can 3-tap at close range, but it's like a 5-tap at max range. Take away his fall off, he's a weaker Hela, but has sustain. And he has to play solo to get the most value out of that sustain, because if he's next to his team, the heal will bounce to his team. So then you have the ability to, if you're good enough and you can hit headshots, you can farm headshots all game and just heal. And you can heal bot and you can crazy damage, crazy healing. Or you can play offensively in triple support and you can do better. You have less damage because in that scenario, if you're playing Adam over Hela, Hela would be doing more damage, but you have the ability to soul bond if you need to. You have a little ultimate, you have healing so you can stay up longer, you have the resurrection ultimate that could be useful. He does what the triple support should do, bring more util, less damage. So I think that's fine. Just remove his fall off or lower the amount of fall off that he has. That way he's actually useful as a DPS. And then same thing with Ultron. Well, not same thing about the fall off, but Ultron, crazy good pressure, but he can't finish off kills like Adam can. He's not, like, he doesn't shoot fast, he doesn't do that much consistent, because it's the beam and then bow, you get hit with the big burst. And that's cool. That's a really cool way to design the character, but at the end of the day, 2 drones is too much. Keep everything the way it is, but give him only 1 drone. And I think that fixes it. Because he actually, give him 1 drone, but like lower the support ultimate. Because lower it to how it was. Because in this most recent patch, they gave him the 2nd drone, gave him the new ability, and increased his ult charge cost. Lower the ult charge cost. Keep him how he is exactly, because then you can still damage boost, you still provide that util, but you do the damage and the pressure of a DPS. The problem with Ultron is just kind of that he exists, if we're being so for real, because just AFK healing, he doesn't have to do anything, it doesn't take any attention towards his team, it doesn't take a cooldown, he doesn't have to balance it, he just places it and AFK heals. That's always going to be super strong, because you get the damage of a DPS and the heal and like sustain AFK healing, and that's always gonna be super strong. But I think just keeping him how he is, getting rid of one of his drones though, and so whoever, he doesn't even have to look at them anymore, but whenever he right clicks they get the damage and speed boost, because then you have to make sure it's on the right person, because what if I have it on my support because they were getting dove and I hit that? Well, now it's not really useful. Now the damage boost isn't going to be super useful. I have to look at my team, make sure I place it on the right person, then hit the right click. And so it takes thought to make sure you're doing the right thing, not just, oh, I put one drone on you and one drone on you, and now I just make sure I look at you to. That's not really as. You're not losing anything by doing that. Because if I throw it on my Venom and then right click to damage boost him, now I don't have it for my backline. And if they were diving my backline and I placed it on my backline for that, now they don't have it and they're susceptible to dive now. Right. So I think those are my ideas on what I could do to fix triple support. But at the end of the day, I don't think triple support will ever leave. Because of just the insane amount of burst damage that's in this game. And like characters like Moon Knight or Hawkeye kind of enforce triple support. Because if Daredevil's being played, you kind of have to play triple support, because Daredevil will even tear through triple healers. Triple, like, defense healing, he can tear through that, and so what are you going to do about it other than go triple support? I also think passive ult charge should be lowered, because you gain it so passively so easily that there's just... They don't steal ult charge from each other. I said in a comment that I was like, oh, it looks like they're going to be stealing ult charge from each other now, and they kind of just don't. They don't really steal the ult charge like I thought they were going to. You still have ult like every 5 seconds, and dude, it was bad. Actually, you do steal ult from each other, but it's not enough to be super noticeable. Because I was playing, it was triple support on our team, double support on theirs, and their entire team had ults up like every 2 seconds. And that's partly because they could farm damage and kill. We had like a 6 and 12 that game, who played Daredevil the entire time, but so they were farming kills, which farms their ult charge, but at the same time they were farming damage, because we could always out heal the damage, which farms their DPS ults, which is why they always had a DPS or a tank ultimate. But they were getting support ultimates really, really fast, and that's because even in triple support, you do crazy, crazy damage. So if we heal more, if we have triple support and we heal more, we shouldn't do as much damage, and then their support should be losing ult charge as well. So like, we're stealing each other's ult charge by healing it so much, so we'll have less, but so will they. And on some level, that should balance out to the point where there's less ults in the game, period. And there's strategy and team play around that, and I don't know, man. I'm just tired of seeing triple supports in every single game that I play. It's just a little weird, and those are my ideas on how to fix it. Let me know how you would balance some of the strategies, because I feel like everything they're doing to balance triple support, to like get rid of it, is just enforcing it. Not enforcing, but like encouraging it. Like adding anti-heal. Well, we need the healing, and now we heal less, so we'll play another support. Like, it's just... I don't know. Like, even when they gave Penny the extra healing on her webs, now it just made Ultron viable, because you just put it on Penny, and anyone in Penny's webs or around Penny was getting crazy good sustained healing for doing absolutely nothing, and you didn't lose out on your DPS. But I don't know, man. I don't know how I would fix this. Wet Willy.